Hello and welcome, if you have just joined us, to our BBC News special on the Oscar nominations. In the next 5 minutes, we will start to hear who is going to be heading to the Academy Awards in March. Joining me in the studio is our culture correspondent, Charlotte Gallagher, and also film critic and editor-at-large at Empire magazine, Helen O'Hara. We also have the popcorn ready. We are, of course, slightly different this year with the Oscar nominations because of the Los Angeles fires. So, Charlotte, there isn't going to be the normal press at this event in the next few minutes.
No, it's going to be a very pared down ceremony, essentially. They're just going to announce what is happening. And I imagine they'll make some statement probably about the fires in Los Angeles, because so many people involved in the entertainment industry have lost everything in the fires. Members of the Academy have lost everything. And we've been talking that perhaps some people might not even be able to do their vote because they're not in their home, they've been relocated. I mean, it's just been absolutely devastating for people in Los Angeles. And it just wouldn't be right to have an all singing, all dancing kind of nomination announcement when people are really, really suffering.
OK, one person who is in Los Angeles and who is waiting is film producer Sandro Manetti, who joins us now. He knows the film industry very well, but he has a personal reason for being ready for the Oscars. He's got his fingers crossed there. It's because you might be nominated, Sandro. Just explain to our audience why.
I am one of the executive producers of Room Taken, which is a charming short film about the unique bond between a blind woman and a homeless man. Colin Farrell is also an executive producer on this film. Yes, we're just hoping, like so many others, that dreams might come true in a few minutes. My delight or joy is going to play out around the world. Stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to get your reaction. But on the thing that we were mentioning before, the fires in Los Angeles, how much of an impact has that had on the industry that you are part of?
Well, 60% of Academy voters live right here in Los Angeles. So an absolute huge impact. You know, for many of us, the Oscar nominations represents almost a return to normalcy and something quite comforting at this difficult time. I think the Academy have played it right without putting on this, as you say, all singing, all dancing sort of presentation. But the Oscars will go ahead. The delayed nominations today, the ceremony on March the 2nd. So, it's a celebration of all the talent in this town and the extended talent around the world.
OK, we are going to cross very shortly to the announcement in Los Angeles, which is in two parts. So Sandro's in the first part, along with the Best Supporting Actor and Actress. And then there is a 3-minute little gap where, to be brutally honest, the American new channel that takes an ad break, where we will come back and get Sandro's reaction. And then, of course, we will get the big ones for Best Movie and Best Actor and Actress. Charlotte, what do we need to be looking out for?
We need to be looking out for some really big names, things that we think are going to do very well in the nominations. So The Brutalist, we're expecting to do well. Conclave, which, as KJ described earlier, it's like the Real Housewives of Vatican City. It's this very funny, catty drama about choosing the next pope with a real classy cast. Wicked, one of the blockbusters that could do really well. Cynthia Erivo, will she become an EGOT? Will she finally get her Oscar? Ariana Grande, could she be nominated? Selena Gomez for Emilia Pérez. Could she get a nomination? Emilia Pérez, we're expecting to do quite well. That film has been quite divisive, but critics seem to really love it. Also, Demi Moore. Could Demi Moore get an Oscar nomination? People are really have their fingers crossed for her. She's had this huge comeback. She talked about how she was described as a popcorn actress. She wasn't taken seriously. She's being taken seriously now. OK, well, let us join the ceremony in Los Angeles now.
And the CEO of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Janet Yang and Bill Kramer.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the 97th Oscars nominations announcement. On behalf of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, I want to welcome you and extend our deepest sympathies to everyone impacted by the fires here in Southern California.
This has certainly been a difficult time for Los Angeles, where many members of our film community, industry work and live. But the last several weeks have proven what we already know to be true. Our film industry and Los Angeles are resilient. And for almost a century, the Oscars have brought us together to unite and celebrate our global film community.
During this year's ceremony, we will honor the talented filmmakers nominated today, pay tribute to our brave first responders, and celebrate the enduring spirit of Los Angeles and the film industry.
And now, without further delay, to announce this year's Academy Award nominees, please welcome Rachel Sennett and Bowen Yang.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. What an honor it is to be with you today.
Me and Bowen are wide awake. We have been up since 10 p.m. and between us, we've had 3 Diet Cokes, an entire pack of cigarettes, and 1 Adderall.
And you get to guess who had what. Don't worry, everyone. Rachel and I have been through extensive pronunciation training for all the names today. Let me try now. Wicked.
Amazing, Bowen. That was really good. Well, let's not keep people waiting any longer. Let's go.
Are we ready for some nominees?
Let's go.
First, for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, Yura Borisov in Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice.
Next, the nominees for Achievement in Costume Design. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
The nominees for Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling are A Different Man, Emilia Pérez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked.
Next up, the nominees for Achievement in Music, Original Score. The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Pérez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Now this year's nominees for Best Live Action Short Film. Alien, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Would Not Remain Silent.
Many such cases.
Yes, of course.
Okay, for Best Animated Short Film, the nominees are Beautiful Men.
Where?
Okay. In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck by Charlie XCX.
Wonderful. And now we have the first of the 2 award categories honoring writing. First, for Adapted Screenplay, the nominees are A Complete Unknown, a screenplay by James Mangold and Jay Cox, Conclave, screenplay by Peter Strawn, Emilia Pérez, screenplay by Jacques Audiard, in collaboration with Thomas Bideguin, Liam Messius, and Nicolas Levesque. Thank you. Nickel Boys, screenplay by Ramel Ross and Jocelyn Barnes. And Sing Sing, screenplay by Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, story by Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, Clarence Macklin, John Devine G. Whitfield.
And for Original Screenplay, the nominees are Anora, written by Sean Baker. The Brutalist, written by Brady Corbet, Mona Fastful. A Real Pain, written by Jesse Eisenberg. September 5, written by Moritz Binder, Tim Fellbaum, co-written by Alex David. And The Substance, written by Coralie Farjat.
And last, before our break, the nominees for performance by an actress in a supporting role. Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande in Wicked. Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. And Zoe Saldana in Emilia Pérez.
Okay, wow. What a start. Congratulations to these Oscar nominees.
And hey, stick with us.
Stick with us.
We'll be right back with more nominations. Yes!
She's very good.
So that is the first part of the nomination process. We have to go back to Sandro Manetti in Los Angeles. Commiserations, Sandro.
It's an honor just to be shortlisted.
You should have gone for the acting prize.
Sorry you didn't make it.
Yes, I don't think acting is my future, but I'm very encouraged to stick with producing. You know, it's great to be in the shortlist, and actually, after 20 years sort of covering the Oscars as a reporter, to actually have a film that had a chance was great. But you know, all of us involved, we will be back in future to get this, and you know, we're in good company. I think the likes of Angelina Jolie, Nicole Kidman, you know, will also be on that sort of bubble in the next section of awards as well. So we ran it close. Get you next year.
Thank you very much for joining us, Sandra. We do appreciate your time. Helen, so surprise for me, because we won't now see Selena versus Ariana.
We won't. I think it was maybe it's always difficult when there's two supporting in the same film or two leads in the same film, which arguably Ariana was kind of a lead. But yeah, it's a shame, I think, for, you know, probably for the audiences at home, certainly for the fans of Selena Gomez. And yeah, she'll be hoping to be in with another chance. But look, her career is only going up and up, so I don't think that's her last chance at an Oscar.
And also, I noticed adapted screenplay writing, Wicked wasn't in there.
Yeah, and that's not a good sign, is it, for Best Picture, if they didn't get an adapted screenplay nomination. That we both kind of went, yeah, when that was announced. So that I think they'll be hugely, hugely disappointed that they've not got a nomination in that category. Currently, Brutalist, Conclave, Wicked, Complete Unknown, and Emilia Pérez all have 4 nominations each. Because you asked me to do a tally, Nicola. Yeah. I have been doing a tally with a pen and paper. They're leading the race currently with 4 each.
Because the most nominations ever, 14.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there was some talk as to whether Emilia Pérez might reach that number.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been a real runaway success, hasn't it, in the awards ceremony so far? And it's something that I don't think anyone anticipated. Probably even the people working on the film didn't expect it to do this well. As we said, it's been such a divisive film. People either love it or they hate it.
That's exactly it. And I think it is a surprise that it was dominant to that extent at the Golden Globes, and even in the BAFTAs, it was the second most nominated film. So I think... Look, I think, you know, not having 2 nods for Best Supporting Actress is probably not a great sign for it, you know, beating records at least. But it's still doing very, very well. To be up there with things like The Brutalist, I think is a good sign for it.
Well, we have the big ones to come. Sandro, before you leave us, who would be your bet on walking away with Best Movie this year?
I'm going to think that it's so close that it's going to come down to the film that people least object to because of the way Oscar voting is. So I think more left field choices like The Brutalist and Emilia Pérez will struggle. I think Conclave will come through. My choice would be Sing Sing, but Conclave for me. Okay, it's turning white smoke over the Academy.
Sandro, thank you very much for your time. We're going to head back very shortly to get the big nominations. Charlotte, anything we need to be watching out for here?
So it's Best Picture, isn't it? Who is going to get the nominations for Best Picture? So we're expecting, as Sandra said, Brutalist, Conclave, A Complete Unknown, I think might squeak in as well.
Yeah.
I think The Substance. I have a really good feeling about The Substance. It's one of my favourite films of the past year. And I think perhaps it could do it.
Also, watch Best Editing. You don't generally win Best Picture without Best Editing.
Okay, let's head back to Los Angeles.
We're in a hotel lobby. And we're back live. Before we continue, I just want to say it's really special to be here with Rachel.
Oh,
we both got our
Bowen.
start in the New York alt comedy scene.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the alt comedy scene is sort of like regular comedy, but for women and gay people. And I just want to say, it makes so much sense that Bowen and I are like doing this now at this moment in our careers. You know, Bowen is such a huge star on SNL. He's in the hit movie Wicked.
Oh, thanks. And Rachel is Fatima.
Thanks so much. Let's keep going. So anyways, the nominees for Achievement in Music, Original Song are El Mal from Emilia Pérez, The Journey from the 688, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Pérez, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late.
Woo! Smashed it. You smashed it, as the Brits say. And now, the nominees for Best Documentary Feature Film.
Okay.
Black Box Diaries. No Other Land. Porcelain War. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. And Sugarcane.
Next, for Best Documentary Short Film, the nominees are Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Those are some sad titles. Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Yeah. For Best International Feature Film, the nominees are I'm Still Here, Brazil. The Girl with the Needle, Denmark. Nothing for Denmark. Emilia Pérez, France. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Germany. And Flow, Latvia.
And for Best Animated Feature Film, here are the nominees. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Production Design. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
Next up, for Achievement in Film Editing, the nominees are Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Pérez, and Wicked.
And for Achievement in Sound, here are the nominees. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Pérez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Next, the nominees for Achievement in Visual Effects. Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked.
A lot of monkeys in those films, I just realized. For Achievement in Cinematography, the nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Pérez, Maria, and Nosferatu.
For performance by an actor in a leading role, the nominees are Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Woo! For performance by an actress in a leading role, the nominees are Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon in Emilia Pérez, Mikey Madison in Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here.
For achievement in directing, the nominees are Sean Baker, Honora, Brady Corbet, The Brutalist, James Mangold, A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard, Emilia Pérez, and Coralie Farjat, The Substance.
Woo! Okay, y'all, for our final category.
Our final category, I cannot wait. I feel like we should read them together.
I feel like we should.
Okay, here are the 10 nominees for Best Motion Picture of the Year.
Here they are.
Here we go.
Honora, Alex Coco, Samantha Kwan, and Sean Baker, producers.
Boom. The Brutalist, nominees to be determined.
A Complete Unknown, Fred Berger, James Mangold, and Alex Heineman, producers.
Conclave, Tessa Ross, Juliette Howell, and Michael A. Jackman, producers.
Dune, Part 2, Mary Parent, Cale Boyder, Tanya Lapointe, and Denis Villeneuve, producers.
Emilia Pérez, nominees to be determined, producers.
I'm Still Here, nominees to be determined.
Guys, paperwork, let's go. Come on. Nickel Boys, nominees to be determined.
PGA. The Substance, nominees to be determined.
And Wicked, Mark Platt, producer.
Woo!
There it is, you guys.
There it is, y'all. Congratulations
That's it.
to all of this year's nominees. It's been such a privilege to share the news with you and movie fans around the world.
We are rooting for you all in equal amounts.
Yes. Watch the Oscars live, hosted by Conan O'Brien on Sunday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on ABC and Hulu. We cannot wait to celebrate with you.
We're gonna party.
We're gonna party.
It's gonna be so fun.
Bye.
So there we go, live from Los Angeles. We have the full list. Joining us here on our BBC News special as well is Rhiann Dillon, the film critic for Six Music. Still with me, Charlotte and Helen. So, Helen, surprises.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a bit of talk for Nicole Kidman, maybe for Baby Girl, for Best Actress, sorry, and Angelina Jolie for Maria. I think they were probably, as our guest said, on the bubble a little bit for those. Otherwise, I think it's much as predicted. Emilia Pérez has done extremely well, better than I personally would have chosen. Interesting not to see Conclave get a Best Director nod, though. That's a bad sign for its Best Picture chances. Usually, if you're going to win Best Picture, you need a nomination for Best Editing and Best Director to go along with it. So it's a little bit worrying that it's not in there. But otherwise, it's pretty much, I think, as we predicted.
Rhiann, we mentioned earlier, Carla Sofia Gascon is now the first ever trans actor to get an Oscar nomination.
Yes, I mean, that's an incredible feat. And actually, I don't know about the feelings in the room. I think it's really well deserved. I think she does give
very good performance.
An incredible performance.
I think the cast is great.
Stunning.
I just don't love the film. I think the performances are brilliant, but I didn't love the songs either.
Oh, really? I think Zoe Saldana's kind of magnus opus that she does is phenomenal. And so like kind of barnstorming and energetic. I love that. And I think that Gascon is not necessarily, doesn't have to be the strongest singer, I think, but I think her arc is something that we have genuinely not really seen in such an authentic way on screen before.
Yeah. And Charlotte, we mentioned this earlier, Demi Moore has her first ever Oscar nomination, which I still cannot quite believe that she's never been nominated before.
And you know how much that will mean to her. She's talked about how she wasn't taken seriously. She was seen as a popcorn actress. She could do the big blockbusters. She could bring in the crowds, but she wasn't worthy of being rewarded for her performances. And to get to her age now and to be coming back so strong, The Substance is a brilliant film as well. It has so much to say about our obsession with youth and the entertainment industry and how it treats women. I loved it. I mean, I made the mistake of going for dinner straight after watching the film because I didn't quite expect it to be as gory as it was.
Really.
But it's fantastic. I loved it.
What did you make of Demi Moore, Rhiannon, the fact that she's been nominated and the film itself?
I'm so thrilled that she has. I kind of echo you absolutely. I think she is. I think it's one of the most interesting ones. For example, like I think Baby Girl Nicole Kidman. The Oscars do kind of love Nicole Kidman.
Her, yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm really glad that actually, as much as she's 100%. Brilliant in Baby Girl, that she might have been edged out in favour of Demi Moore. And I absolutely agree that it's she's obviously going to have so much fun on this campaign as well. And I can't wait to see kind of more of her interviews around this because, again, vital subject.
Yeah, I'm interested, Helen. Will the Academy go for someone who they think deserves something because of their whole career versus, say, someone like Carla Sofia Gascon, who's in this one movie that is of the moment?
Well, there's a few kind of ways that you can help your Oscar chances. One is to have a body of work that's never been rewarded. So, you know, I'm thinking of like, I don't know, Jeff Bridges a few years ago. It was a sense that it was his time. He hadn't had it yet. That was an oversight on Oscar's part. There's also the comeback story. Oscars love a comeback story. And I think that's where Demi is in with a really good chance. And honestly, she would be my choice because I just think it's an extraordinary performance. I think she's incredible in that film. And then there is the breakthrough that just, you know, resets everyone's expectations. And I guess that's where Carla would kind of qualify. And also like Mikey Madsen for Nora's would brilliant. Kind of be in there. So yeah, I've got my fingers crossed for Demi if I'm honest. But yeah, it's a pretty strong lineup, I think, for Best Actress.
Charlotte, have you done your adding up yet? Do you know who's got the most?
It is Emilia Pérez with 13.
So not quite the 14, which would be
so they've not broken the record or equalled the record, but they're nearly there, aren't they?
Okay, let's talk about Best Actor, because that, to me, seems like a very strong category, Helen.
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, I think Adrian Brody and Sebastian Stan were both, right? They were both awarded at the Golden Globes, so they will probably be seen as the front runners. But I genuinely don't think there's a weak performance in there. I think they're all extraordinary, and I think Ralph Fiennes is one of the greatest actors of this generation. So it would be nice to see him, you know, pick one up maybe.
And also because Conclave, because it is a smaller, more internal role, it's not so showy. So it would be really interesting to see if the Oscars are kind of more up for that sort of performance this time around.
But, Rhiannon, there's a lot of buzz around Timothée Chalamet and Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I would be kind of much more up for seeing it win in that category rather than perhaps for Best Director, because I don't think the film is as strong in its directing as it is in its performances. Timothée Chalamet is undoubtedly Bob Dylan in that. And the way that he sings, I mean, the fact that he sings is huge, and that he sings it so kind of so similarly, I think is kind of going to edge out quite a lot of the competition.
And didn't he learn to play like 4 instruments or something for it? I mean, it wasn't just a bit of let's pick up guitar. It was also let's pick up harmonica. Let's pick up this and that. It's pretty impressive.
But would it? Sorry.
No, I was going to say he's won over Bob Dylan fans as well.
Yes.
Bob Dylan fans are loving it, and you can imagine if he hadn't have got it quite right, he would have been really criticised by them. But I know somebody who went to see it and he was in tears by the end of it, and they're a lifelong Bob Dylan fan, and people are really loving his performance.
Do you think for Ed Norton, though, winning, do you think that he's got a chance of winning Best Supporting Actor?
I would love it if he did, because I thought he's such a positive, warm presence in that movie. I really, really loved his energy. That said, that's another really strong category, you know. I think there's a couple of people in there who are virtually leads. I think Guy Pearce in The Brutalist is very hard to get past. So that's another one that, I see going down to the wire, to be honest.
OK, we only have 30 seconds. So who will win Best Film, Charlotte?
The Substance.
Rihanna.
A Complete Unknown.
And Helen.
I think The Brutalist.
OK, so completely different. This is where, if you are watching on the BBC News channel, you are going to leave us, but you can scan the QR code that you can see on the side of your screen at the moment, because we are going to continue discussing